It's the multicultural aspect of the city that really draws me to want to shoot it. You can move from neighborhood to neighborhood and get an entirely different set of cultures. You often feel like you're in a European city or shooting in Southeast Asia. Next thing you know, you're in South America or in the United States. And that's what makes it such a rich experience to be a street photographer in this city. Street photography is often about ambiguity rather than storytelling. It gives the viewer something to consider, something to resolve, rather than giving them all the answers. The one thing we all start off weak at is the ability to approach strangers and shoot them on the fly, or to talk to them and get them to pose for portraits. For every photographer, that's something they need to overcome. And if you want to really get better, you need to have eye contact with these people. You need the facial expression, the hand movement, all that sort of stuff. And the only way you're going to get that is to practice and just forcing yourself out of your comfort zone. I tend to shoot primarily with a 18mm prime, which is 28mm full frame equivalent. And what a wide angle lens does is it forces you to really engage with your subjects. It's more challenging, but street photographers should be focusing on things that add challenge. Either I'm going to get in there or I'm not going to get the shot. When it comes to street photography, the last thing you want is to be noticed in the crowd, to stand out. What you want is to be inconspicuous and stealthy. To achieve that, it's great to have a small camera around your neck. The beauty about a small camera is you go unnoticed. I can't imagine ever going back to a big DSLR for street photography. Another important aspect is the clothing you wear. You want something dark to match the camera, something that will not go noticed on the street. When you're out on the street, what you're holding in your hand isn't nearly as important as what's in your frame, especially if you're looking for that decisive moment. You want something that's easy to use, something where you have an analog experience, the dials and controls are readily accessible. The one nice feature on the X-Pro3 is the new flip screen. You flip that down and you can shoot from the hip without people noticing you. Yet the moment you flip the screen into the closed position, you get a more analog film type experience, which a lot of photographers, particularly street photographers, enjoy. When it comes to my own street photography, I like to keep things simple. I set the aperture to f8 and I let the auto ISO ride between 200 and 1600 and the minimum shutter to be about 400. Yet, anytime I want to change it up and get a shallow depth of field, the aperture ring is right there on the lens, just a quick twist, and next thing you know I'm shooting at f2 instead of f8 and I don't even have to think about it. When it comes to perspective, it's always interesting to shoot from different angles that aren't how you actually see the world, which is usually at about 5'6" for most people. I stand on benches. I do whatever I can to give you a view of the world that you don't naturally see with your own eye, and that makes for compelling photography. I tend to shoot raw. However, with the Fuji, I really appreciate the film simulations. They allow me to mix it up from time to time, and it also makes post-processing later that much simpler. The best way to get great shots is to push outside your comfort zone and work in a way that puts the decisive moment ahead of the technology in your hand. When you do that, the world really opens up. And that's the beauty of street photography.